What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Wheels Fall Off podcast. I'm your girl and host, Spice from SpiceLifeTv, and this is my beautiful husband and co-host.
What's up, y'all? It's Creed here with y'all today, and we're here to bring you the podcast that brings you relationships and reintegration all in one, and just show you how you could do it the right way and at the same time learn throughout the process. So
we hope we're doing it the right way. We're trying to do it the right way,
but we're only bringing you what we literally go through, trial tribulations, and learn at the other side of it. So
absolutely,
yeah. So that's what we're here for.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So let's get into the show. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So we start off the show by doing two segments. And the first segment we always start off with is normally where we talk about our week. And we used to call this high-low, but from here on forward, we're going to switch up the name. Right now, we think we're going to call this segment What Up, Though?
What Up, Though?
Because it really is just going to be a check-in on what's been going on for this last recent week. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, what up, though?
Nah, don't even try it. We always start with the ladies around here. So, Spice, tell the Spice Rack, what up, though?
So, a couple things have been going on. One thing that was kind of annoying that happened today, which I'm sure you guys might have, well, this will be a week later, but you might have realized, or a couple days later, actually. I got hacked. My Instagram got hacked. I didn't even tell you that. Today, my Instagram got hacked. So what happened was they put in there like, oh, we're doing a giveaway. Click on SpiceLifeTv to check the giveaway. And they put the link in so they sent the message as if I was sending it to all of my list. They sent this thing out saying there's a giveaway, and they put my link in that message so that it would direct them to my profile page. And on my profile page, they hacked it and put their website link. So they took away my channel and put their site there. So directing people to their channel, which was probably another bot that was able, getting their information so that they could be hacked. So I put out a message on my Instagram. I tried to message as many people as I could, like I've been hacked, but all day I've been getting message after message like, girl, is this real? No, it's not real. So I'm sorry. If you did click the link, I apologize. I tried to change my email or my password as soon as I got it, which thankfully Yaz is the one that messaged me and was like, is this real? And it was 2 minutes after she'd opened it, which was quick enough for me to still get in there, go change the password, because a lot of times they try to take your access and you can't even get in. They change the password and you can't get in to access your account anymore.
So where does it stand now?
Now it's in good standing. It just was kind of an annoyance.
I mean, did you get an address for these people?
No, I don't even know who they are. I have no clue who they are. So that's annoying. And then this is kind of funny and embarrassing because honestly, I'm telling on myself. We were doing something like last night or the night before, and Babe was saying something like I said, "Oh yeah, because they got a really good soundtrack for this show or this movie," and he was like, "Yeah, it's a good score." And I don't remember what I said, but for whatever him saying it's a good score made me think like. I think I asked you, what do you mean?
Yeah. Like,
because I'm thinking, he was like, you've never heard of a score before? Like, you've never heard of the category best score? And I legitimately, I was, Tuesday years old? Today years old on Tuesday, when I found out that Friday, when I found out that a score really means music.
Yeah, it's the movie. It's the music from the movie. Yeah.
I thought when they said best score that they had categories that they rated the movies in, and that movie.
Okay.
I did. That's real story. Real life.
That's when Marley does stuff and I go like this on her forehead. That's one of those like it's okay. Just hit her on the forehead. You'll be okay. Damn. I was surprised. I thought you was playing like...
No, I did. I always thought that they just meant, out of all the scores, this is the best.
What's crazy is that you asked a certain group of people if they knew, and the same two that knew was the ones that I knew would knew. I knew and knew.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, Yes, yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah, you did. You did. Okay,
I knew.
Whatever. Now that you know mine, what are yours? What up, though? What's your week like? I always got something to say.
But I'm going to tell you this right now. The up this week, actually like the last 10 days, it's just been like a lot of stuff been going on lately with cats that I was formerly incarcerated with.
Yeah.
And just being able to, you know what I'm saying, step in for them when their time in need. It's been happening. It's happened a few times, a handful of times within the last 10 days. And sometimes it's phone call, sometimes it's actual deed. But, I mean, that's what I live for, is to, you know what I'm saying, to serve. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, damn, man, that's what's up. Like, it was to be able to do that and to see the look of relief, or just to hear the, okay, all right, so this is, you know, like the sigh of relief on the phone to a couple of these cats, like, okay, this ain't so bad, or, oh, that's all I got to do? It's like, yeah, you know.
You're providing to them what you wish you had someone
absolutely
to tell you when you were coming through it.
Absolutely. But at the same time, I wouldn't know as much as I do about these particular situations if I didn't do it the way I did it. So I'll take that.
By the way, good job.
Oh, listen,
it's hitting, babe.
Listen, you know I got you. You know
I
got
appreciate you.
So that being said, like I said, I have no downs for the second or third week in a row. Life is good. I was talking to my boy Dangerous today, and every time we ask each other, what's up, man, how's life? We be like, beautiful, man. Like, I can't even complain about nothing. And the thing is, what I can complain about would just be simply lip service. Like, it's really not a complaint. So yeah, everything's great.
Okay. I'm glad, baby. I've enjoyed seeing you enjoy helping your friends in that way. I feel like it's giving you some kind of like, I don't want to say purpose. You already have that, but I feel like it's feeding into a passion of yours.
It's feeding into something.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And it's definitely a passion, but it's also something more, and I don't want to try to categorize it yet, but it's something that is meaningful to my spirit.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, I get that.
So, yeah. It's been dope. Life has been dope, world. So,
good.
I'm gonna try it again. Life has been dope, world.
I agree.
Yeah, for real.
All right, so let's jump into the next segment, and that is where we do the question of the week. And this week we are drawing from the Tonight's Conversation card game, and this is the Connecting Couples deck. So, since I did first on the last one, you do first on this one. The new rule, you pick it, you have to ask it.
I don't know what that's from, but whatever.
I made it up.
What moment in my past do you wish you could have experienced with me? Explain.
Ooh, babe, there's so many.
That's actually a good question.
There are so many moments in your past that I wish I could experience with you, and most of them are only to protect you.
You would have been able to protect me in these situations?
I think, though, there's one specific instance, a situation, that anytime it's mentioned, I just so badly wish I was there because I feel like I could have protected you. It might not have been the case, because if I was still me, I'd have still been quite a bit younger than you and would have been unable to actually do that. But if I could go back today and be in that spot with you, there was one specific instance you shared with me when you were a little boy. It wasn't necessarily a good experience. And adults around you were involved, and I just wish I could have been an adult in that situation. Or even not an adult, just there to whoop ass.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
That would be the first one, I think, just because that's one of the first ones that I always get really affected by when you talk to me about that. That and the very first memory you shared with me. Those two are like, oh, motherfucker.
That's crazy that even like that's like that even now, and you didn't even know me then. You know what I'm saying?
Because I think now I know you can take care of yourself. When you were like a child and you couldn't, and to hear like when things happen to you that were not nice at all and should have never happened, like it makes me mad because it's like, where were the adults and who was protecting you?
That's a good question. That's a good question. But you know, people have their own agendas and their own lives, and they don't click on to the parent.
People probably do better when they know better too. So I'm not trying to.
That's very true.
Say that or blame people, but still, that's
very true.
That is to answer your question. How about you? You have any? What's in my past that you wish you could have been there for?
I think you know.
Oh, my mom. Yeah.
I mean, when your mom passed away, that first phone call. It was, you know, we talked about this plenty of times and how you really wasn't having a reaction then. at that time when I first talked to you. It was like you were just kind of just like, this happened. I think it was a lot going on. You were trying to be there for a lot of people. So you were just kind of like in just autopilot mode when I talked to you. And when you're in that mode, that's when I know you need a hug the most. That's when I know you need me the most. And not being able to be there.
Yeah, I wish you were there. I think, honestly, if you were there, a lot of things would have just went differently for me.
Yeah, because I mean, and that was quite a few years ago. So we were both younger at the time.
20 years ago this year.
But there's a part of me, no matter how chaotic life is, that when there is a crisis, it's like I'm just like, you know, I'm in like focus mode on who I need to be focused on, and it's like it would have been great to be able to use that focus that I had at that time for you, on you.
Yeah.
You know?
I know.
So yeah, that's definitely it.
Okay. My turn. Okay. When you have a stressful day, what would you like me to do to help you deal with it? That's a great question.
So what I found, that was liquor trying to kind of come back.
Oh, it wasn't emotion?
Yeah. No, it wasn't emotion. That wasn't emotion.
Oh, he about to cry.
Nah, it hit me down there and came back up on me.
I'm going to use that as a thumbnail.
So, what I found is when I have a stressful day, like the best thing for me to do is take a minute.
Yeah.
And since I've been using that practice, I've been getting a lot better, right? And so I don't think I'm perfect, but I know I'm better than I was, and I'm getting better as the day goes by. And what I mean to say that, y'all, is when I'm stressful, when something's stressful, I don't like pine over like I'm going to go crazy necessarily. I get kind of upset. I get mad about the situation because I can't fix it, or the day's over with, and it's like I want more time to do this, and you know, that's the type of person I am. And so when I'm stressed out, I think about that, and then it comes out in conversations. It comes out in my critical thinking, because I'll just be like, man, I'm just gonna do this because I'm thinking about this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna think about the quicker, easiest way. It's not the way to do anything in life. And so what I learned is you can help me by not helping me.
Yeah.
Because you have actually tried to help me, and it's just one of those things I just need to decompress for a second. So that's all it is. And I appreciate it because you have been you've been dope. World, check this out. She gave me my space. And no, I'm serious, because a lot of people can give you space and not be in a room with you, but you can feel the energy that they're like, come on, like, what are you doing? Like, you know, or what are you doing down there? Or come talk to me. You don't be like that. And I try to make sure that when I come home, it's just not like, give me a second. No, I always got time for my baby. It's just, I just need a second before I continue with the second part of my day. You know what I'm saying? Before the transition happens. So that's all it is. And I never used to have that.
Need transition? Yeah,
like when I used to come home from work, I was immediately in the midst of thousands of people. I never got a decompressed time to transition to the rest of my day. It was like I left work, came home, and I was immediately with somebody in the room with them, locked up with them, and then around a bunch of people having to deal with that. And it's like I never really understood what decompressing, how important it was.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to learn, like, yeah, you kind of need that.
You do. I mean, it happens for people in different ways. Like my drive home was definitely my decompress, because I didn't mind driving. Driving home at the end of the day meant I was on my way home.
Yeah.
I could put my gospel or my podcast or whatever and just zone. And by the time I came home, I could just totally be woosad. And I know that hasn't happened yet for you, because driving's still a stressor.
That's
still a stressor for you. So,
but it's starting to slow down a lot, though.
It is. I know this. Like, we've recently some random weird weather where there's been snow. Like today, he got little snowstorm. Last week we had snow like 2 days. So it's just different. And for someone who's still just kind of getting back in the swing of driving and long distances from Redmond and all over the place, and then all of this random weather, it does frazzle my babe.
Yeah,
and I can tell when he comes home. And I can tell, I kind of can tell what the frazzle is. I'm starting to learn what the frazzle is. If it's job frazzle, or if it's traffic frazzle, or if
How
it's
you
like...
know?
Because if it's job frazzle, you'll kind of just be like, oh, these white people. And that's like the first thing you kind of grumble. It's like, oh, these white people.
I do.
And then if it's like traffic or something else, you'll be short and you'll just be like, I'm just gonna go down here for a second because it decided to fucking snow today. So, like, you give hints on what the deal is. But then also, too, if I see the weather, I'm like, oh, hell, let me get this blunt ready.
I be wondering, and I appreciate that.
Blunt on deck when
she be having them ready. And baby's a stuffer. She stuffed them joints, right? So she stuffed them joints, and then she twisted them, and it'd be so pretty. It'd be like a little bow. And at the end of the day, walking into that, after your kiss, that's the best thing in the world. I swear to God. I'm not even playing. But you stupid for that. First. You good and stupid for that, though. I just know today, huh? That's how I do it.
It's fucking snow. It decided fucking snow today.
It's like...
I know. It's been tripping.
It's weird and I hate it, but I'm trying to get a hold of it. And I'm definitely trying to compartmentalize all these little things, these little tweaks, these things that have me... You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that you pick up on that because I haven't categorized it to you, but you seem to have categorized it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, once you kind of explain to me that I know if it's me, like I can kind of tell. Well, not all the time. Sometimes I'll be done something, don't know it. But when I know that there's like, okay, we kind of were beefing or there's been tension, I know when you're upset and it's me. And normally when you come home from work, I ain't done nothing to you.
No, you've been cool all day.
So once I realize like this ain't got nothing to do with me, let me just give him a second to have his little moment. The other thing that brings him out of his moment, let him talk about himself, honey. Let him tell me about his day with all attention and all eyes and ears. If I could just be more attentive.
Yeah.
If I could just give him 15, 20 minutes of him just talking about himself, he does great.
You know what's crazy? Because I work by myself, so I just spend all day making up my script of what I'm going to tell you. And as soon as something good happens, I'm like, oop, she going to know about that today. And then I put it in a way, it's going to make me look real, real good.
I know.
But there's no embellishment, and it's all truth. No, don't play. Don't play your boy. It's no embellishment, and it's all true, world. So, your boy just like a little attention from his woman when he get home, but at the same time, he be like, leave me alone. I need to go.
Ain't that crazy? He wants my attention and don't want it at the same time. Tell me that's not a toddler.
That's not true.
It's a toddler.
Kinda so. Thumbnail. Anyway.
What?
He's a toddler.
That's not a thumbnail. That's a title.
Oh. There you go. Title.
He's a whole toddler.
Or... You want my attention or not?
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You know?
And then we can be like, looking at each other. So, I mean, basically the same for me. When I have a stressful day, if there's nothing you can do to help me, get out of my way. But if you can help me, then do it. Let's not talk about it. Let's not say what I'm going to do. Either help or move.
Yeah, well. That's bullshit, y'all. So check this out. Because you be having a stressful day, and your stressful day be like, these clears. I'm telling you. Listen. No, don't even try it with that if you can help me bullshit. Your shit be like, the thing is, y'all, listen, world, Spice is just like me. She would never tell y'all that. So it's up to me to let y'all know that.
Wait.
The same emotions I have, she be having. She be like, these clears. I say, white people get on my nerves. She say, these damn clears. Babe. I'm telling you.
When I tell you they be working the nerve.
That's what stress is.
Can I live? Can I just live?
And I let her get it out because, listen, when she gets it out, when Spice is talking, this is two things she do. When she got a point, her hand is very arrow straight like this, right? You can barely see through it. And then she's like, That's the one. You just did it. The second one is, if you're talking about two people, you're pointing at them like they're there.
Oh,
because
there.
You need to understand and you need to understand. And I be looking at both of them, y'all. So let's talk about that's the stress. When you have a stressful day.
I be going off on the people while I'm telling him. I be having to go off.
Oh my God. I be thinking they in their living room like ow, like get slapped?
Probably.
Because you do be going on.
If I could slap them, I would.
So when she's stressed like that, I just let her get hers out. Because there's nothing I can do, and I definitely know the value of lending the ear. Sometimes that's all you need is somebody as a sounding board, but it's also like I like to throw a question back because she's not used to me throwing a question back. Like, she'll tell me something, I'm just like, that's right. Listen, got it all right, got it all down. But when I say, so how can you fix that? Oh, she's ready, y'all. She's ready. She's like, oh,
do what I tell you to do. We wouldn't even have a problem.
Oh, what they need to do, the need is always a dip. What they need to do, and listen, I got this one. I got this one down pat, y'all.
He is so extra, and the thing about it is he's projecting because everything he's saying, I do. Well, I guess he's saying it already. We do handle stress very similarly.
Very similarly.
Very similar. We like to just leave us alone. Like, let me be. Let me figure it out. So if I need to cry or scream or whatever, I want to just do that by myself, and then I'll come do it with you. Yeah. After I get a second.
And and we're both the same in the sense that if we need each other during, it's simply just to listen. I'm just telling you, right? So you know why I'm not with you right now. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Just move out the way. That's we're good with that. So we're definitely dope in that sense because I think that once we get past the little hurt feelings part about like she don't want me around, she don't want me to, because sometimes you be like, listen, I just want to be in the room right now.
I know.
And sometimes I want to be like, I want to be in the basement.
And you can honestly, I think you can tell me that more. I think that you don't tell me because you know that it hurts your feelings when I tell you, and I think you think that I'm gonna be hurt. Well,
yeah, because the thing is like that's the very first. The rule number one is always watch out for feelings.
Exactly.
So, in watching out for the feelings, it's like, do you really need a long time? I'll wait till it gets to a point where I really need it, then I'll say it. But if I don't, and it's cool.
But what I'm telling you is that if you need it and you don't even know if you need a lot of it, you can say, babe, sure. I think I might need some alone time.
I respect that.
Because 9 times out of 10, your girl does too. And even if I didn't use it or need it, I can always use it.
You can always use it, yeah. It can always come in handy.
Always things I can do, babe.
For sure. I respect that.
So yeah, don't feel like you can't tell me that.
Why are you holding my hand all
Because I just want you to feel safe and secure
and
good. Loved.
Trust me, your boy good.
I love you
so
much.
Your boy good, but I love you back.
Leave me alone. No, I'm joking.
I told y'all she good and stupid. So...
All right, so babe, are you ready to get into this week's show?
Let's do it.
Let's
get it cracking.
All right, so we were kind of talking this week about just our marriage and kind of what our marriage means to us and how we're slowly becoming and more becoming masters of our marriage. Mm-hmm. And one thing that we looked at this week was kind of like when did we decide we wanted to get married? What made us get married? What from our family traits did we pull that we wanted in our marriage? And which ones that we wanted to not include in our marriage? Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to kind of talk about today. What kind of led us into just the idea of marriage, what concepts we had, and then which concepts we brought in that we have changed or the ones we've kept. Mm-hmm. From either just our own or just from ones we've been kind of influenced by from our upbringing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because marriage itself is hard already. We know that, right? And so you bring a lot of stuff into the marriage that
you do so much
that you didn't even intend to, another person wasn't ready for. You never talked about it during dating. So that aside, we talk a lot about marriage after incarceration as far as cohabitating or cohabitating for the first time, what have you.
Right.
So when you have both situations, that's us. Mm-hmm. We're bringing in baggage from our family, mm-hmm. and we also have been incarcerated, done all this time, and now we're just trying to get to know. And so that's doubly hard. So any of y'all going through that out there, that's what this is about. This is about understanding. We know it's already hard, but it's doubly hard the way we have to do it, and we're here to let you know you're not alone.
Right. So let me ask you, did you always know that you wanted to be married? When did you realize, like, I want to be married? Not necessarily to me, but when did you say, like, okay, I want to do marriage?
But that was it. Because you're the only person I ever wanted to marry. Okay. Because remember we met, I wanted to be single.
Yeah, that's right.
And
he wanted to have a child without the mother and just have this son he's raising by himself, and the mom was where?
My boy.
Where was the mama?
She would be around. She would be, but I wouldn't be with her. That was the point that I was making. And that was honestly, I was raised to believe that was okay. Mm-hmm. Which is fine if that's what you choose to do. But I'm just saying, like,
okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I was raised to believe that would be best for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, just me. All he needs is me. And it's like, you're not even giving the value to the mom. It was like, why would you purposely, like, you know what I'm saying, just want to just exclude the mom, or just like, that's just stupid.
Well, it's interesting when that wasn't really the case for you, though.
That wasn't the case for me, but it was the case around me, right? So a lot of my homeboys, I'm talking about a bunch of them, which you don't see this a lot, had custody of their kids because they baby mom, they had end up having a baby with a lady who ended up getting addicted to drugs or something, was out in the streets, real tough. Mm-hmm. And so I saw that a lot, and I was like, yeah, that's how I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And I seen the love and the camaraderie with the son and the father, and I was like, I definitely want that.
Okay.
I definitely want that with me and my boy. Just me and my boy.
Interesting. I was the young girl that always was just in love with the fairy tale. Always wanted the white picket fence, the husband that worked full time. I was gonna be the stay-at-home mom, raising my kids, being the PTA mom, making snacks, having the kids rush over to my house after school. I was gonna be the house that all the kids came and hung out with, like everybody's adopted mom. You know, I just knew I was going to be married because I wanted the family. It wasn't necessarily the husband at the beginning that I was like, ooh, I have to have the husband. I knew the husband, with my upbringing,
was part of the equation.
It was required to have the family. With my very Christian upbringing, like, I never thought of just me having a child or having kids without there being a husband there, or just, you know, having a baby's dad. That never was something I could even have fathomed. So I would, you know, watch love stories, Lifetime, any love, romantic comedy, rom-coms were just like my thing. I just loved love. And I knew that I was going to graduate high school and get married to a military man that could support me. Because in my mind, you worked in the military, you had money. Because we was going to be traveling the world. I was following my husband, traveling, and having babies.
Military babies?
Yep. I really thought that's what I wanted. And when I first met you, like, my idea of what I really wanted as a husband, that was when that was created, but it wasn't really because of you. Like, you, in a way, this might sound really weird.
No, I know what it's about.
Yeah.
They might not know, but I know.
In a way, when Creed first came to our church, if you guys have not watched our story, our how we came about story, I will make sure that link is here or somewhere. Go back and watch that, and it kind of gives you an idea of how we met and just who we were at that time. And I was at the time pretty young when I first started, like, looking at you as somebody that I wanted. I was around like 14, 15, and the reason is because I had been seeing, when you guys came to our church, when your family came to our church, your parents were the model of what I thought married people, Black love should be. Like, I just was enamored with how doting your dad was to her, to how much she catered to him, how they seemed to really work as this unit. Like, he was clearly her protector and provider, and then she provided for him, and they loved each other, and it was very much showing of affection in public, in their home. Like, that was something I'd never seen before. While I was raised in a 2-parent household, my parents were married my whole life until my mom passed away, but I never saw affection. It was very much they were married, and we have these kids, and let's take care of these kids. Every once in a while, I remember, like, tender moments for my mom and dad, like, kissing and kind of being cutesy, and they'd play around, but just, like, I never looked at my dad as, like, he takes care of my mom. Right. Because anytime my mom needed something, she always called my uncle or my grandpa. It wasn't really my dad, and I don't know if it's because he just was working, wasn't there, but I never saw him as her provider and her protector. I felt like he did it for us, but I didn't see him like that for her. So when I saw your parents, blew my mind. Really? And it was like, that's what I want.
Really?
And honestly, part of the reason was, like, I knew if you grew up seeing that, then he's got to have that in him. And that was really one of the draws. Like, I, of course, dug you. Like, I thought you were cute. I liked you, da-da-da-da-da. But your dad, your pops, was really kind of like, oh, my God, that's what a husband's supposed to be like. I want that. He raised that. I need him. That's crazy, but that's really how it came.
That's I know that. And it's crazy how, they had this, and I'm speaking of parents, they had this almost Bonnie and Clyde type of thing from their past. Won't delve into that, but they had a past, and they really, really stuck together through theirs. And a lot of times I think that's what fueled a lot of that public affection and all that, because they really came through a lot. Yeah, they really did care about each other a lot. You know what I'm saying? And all in all being said, there's things going on behind the scenes that people don't know about. But I'm not gonna front. Like, even to a lot of people, and even to some of us up to a certain age, what we saw was the same thing you saw. It was like, man, like they play around in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week, and for no reason at all.
They laugh
sit
together
next to each other and all that type of stuff. When they go out, they hold hands and all that type of stuff. But
I remember one time, me, your mom, and my mom all went out for the day. And when me and my mom would be gone, it was almost like my family would be like, good riddance, they're out of here. Let them be gone all day. Don't come back. And we dropped your mom off when we came in the house, and your dad was so mad because she'd been gone all these hours and not called. And she was like, honey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean, trying to make him not be mad. And he was really upset because he didn't know where she was and was missing her and everything. And I just was like, I want to be missed. I want my husband to want me to come home. I want my husband to care where I'm at. I want my husband to be like, girl, I missed you. You didn't call me, and have an attitude because he's mad that I've been gone.
You think I snapped on a few times for that?
Well, okay, and I wish that. Now, sometimes I'm like, sir, leave me alone.
Yeah. What'd you tell the people? You told the world to pray to God what you want.
And I know. Be specific.
Hey.
But no, they were such a contrast to what I saw in my house.
Respect. I
and it literally was just like, I want that. I want my husband to adore me and worship me and just think that there's nothing better than me. And that's what I saw there.
Yeah.
And I took more from I think their relationship is really kind of what shaped what I wanted mine to be, which is so ironic because of how things have turned out. But I was just fascinated. I admired her. I was like, I have to do everything she does because she got a man to love her like that. I'm copying it. If it's cooking corn, if I got to learn how to make cornbread from scratch, I'm going to learn how to make cornbread. If I got to learn how to make macaroni, if I got to learn how, I was ready. I was so like, I want that. I don't know that was right. I don't know that was good thinking. I don't know that was smart. But I know what I saw, and I know what I wanted, and I saw a woman who had it, and I was like, I'm going to do what she did.
Yeah, for sure. It's just, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, honestly. Especially when you're young and impressionable, and you've never seen it before, I think it's kind of natural. The only thing is that, I think hers came with a price, that she was paying the price the whole time that people didn't even see. You don't have to worry about that. That's the only difference. But other than that, I get you wanting that.
I do.
I get you wanting that. It was like I said, to us, we in the house, we living amongst this. So up to a certain age, it was like, okay, we do got something that nobody else do, because I'm gonna tell y'all right now, world, like I had the only pops that was home. A lot of cats' pops wasn't home. So, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, yeah, I felt like I was the shit, but at the same time, it was just two people doing the wrong thing instead of one.
Yeah, and that's crazy because my dad was in our life too. He raised us. We grew up with our dad very much in our life. But when I think about him really actually being there, he worked a lot or was doing whatever he was doing, and he wasn't always in the household. And when he was there, I feel like, at least my memory of it was like, he was a breakup of just our monotony, and he came and added this light that was like, yay, dad's home. He brought candy. He was fun. He let you watch a little extra movie or take you to do something, or just be the other sounding board from us having to hear my mom all the time. And kind of checking her sometimes because she'd be out, just being a mom, tripping. So those kind of things, as far as his the parenting that my parents had, I took so much away from that I will still use if I get the blessing of having children. They did instilled a lot of great things into us kids.
For sure.
But as far as just their marriage goes, there's really not a lot of things I wanted from my marriage. I will say that it kind of goes back to the parenting thing, though, is that they did have a foundation, what seemed like a strong foundation in God. I knew who he was. He was very much in my household. I did never question what he did for us in the house, or how he would be respected in our house too, which was always interesting because I ended up, after my mom died, I really had to learn God a whole new way, which I've kind of touched on that. But like I said, they did give me a lot of things on the parent tip. The parts that they just had a lot of
shit.
They did.
Sometimes it's what it is.
And even when they got better, it was kind of like the damage was already done because I was the oldest and I saw all the shit. I saw all of it and I remember a lot of it to this day. And you've seen how it still affects me just from like certain things I watch or just certain behaviors. You living here and how certain behaviors have triggered me and made me kind of just like completely shut down because it takes me back, But yeah, it's just interesting. Like, even with like my grandparents and both sets and my uncles and aunts, I think that they all had solid marriages for the most part. I mean, you learn things now as an adult where you're like, maybe it wasn't that great. But I can't say that I ever was looking at them and being like, I want that. I didn't have a lot of examples in my family of what kind of marriage I want. I had examples of marriages, but not the one that I wanted.
Good way to put it, because that's exactly what I was thinking. It's like when you grow up and you get to the finish line, or almost finish line, when I say you're grown now, you see that your parents still together and a lot of people's aren't. You're like, okay, well, mine did it the right way. And it's like, yeah, they had a solid marriage, but at what point does a solid marriage it has to be like, that's not good enough for me.
Yeah.
I want a great marriage.
Right.
And even if you don't end up getting one, the ability to strive for it every day is a reward in itself, right? Because you're like cohabitating with somebody and you're just giving your best every day. And I'm telling you, it's you have to do it. I watch people not give their best every day, right?
Yeah.
And so in watching the marriage unfold when I was a kid, I was just like, okay, this is marriage. This is what it's like. I want this, right? And then I got older, and what ended up happening was I was just wondering how much shit I missed, as far as like, what was he doing that I didn't see? What was she doing that I didn't see right there in the household, because it was actually happening, right? And so the motivation now becomes, this DNA that these two individuals have lies within me. So I'm part of them no matter what. There's what they have in them is in me. Right. If he's a liar, I am. I'm just choosing not to lie. But I'm not gonna be a liar. But that part lives in me, and so does cheating, or so does dishonesty on her part, or something like that. And these are things that I don't want to bring into my marriage. So how do I cope with it? How do I master it? How do I figure it out not to do it when it comes right here at the tip and I want to do it? How do you do that?
But does it come right at the tip?
It doesn't. I'm just saying, for any man or any woman dealing with that, not me personally, but any man dealing with that. How do you do that? That's what we're here to talk about today. Is like becoming a master of your marriage and being like, that right there, I may want to do it because it comes naturally, but that's not good enough for this marriage. I'm not doing that. Now, how do I figure out a different way to do it?
Well, that's the hard part, because a lot of times the things that you think are the issue, you don't even know what the issues are until the incident or situation comes up, and you're like, wow, I have some stuff I got to work on. Yeah. That's where the hard part comes, because I know I can list to you probably 10 things that I know I do not want in my marriage.
For sure.
But then how many additional ones have me and you come up with in the last year of us living together and being married?
Exactly.
That we're like, no. And even things that I didn't know I had in me because I've never been in this situation. But it's like, you literally go and do what you saw.
And when you do it, don't Doesn't it feel instantly familiar?
It does, and
like,
it don't even. It's like almost. It's gut wrenching. It's scary because you never thought you would be there, but then you feel and almost you can't see yourself, but you know you're identical. Mm-hmm. You look identical to that person. You're saying the words flying out of your mouth, the way your face is, everything is identical to what you saw, and it's just like you are programmed so deep on stuff you didn't even necessarily know, but then the courage is like identifying it and then now working to address it and change it.
For sure. And just to be clear, the thing that Spice is talking about, we're not talking about no domestic violence issue.
No.
Just to be clear, we're talking about the stuff that happens during confrontations, that happen during regular conversation, that trigger you that you didn't even know. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden you're feeling, looking, acting a certain way and you don't even know why. Why? 9 times out of 10, it's in your DNA or something that you've seen growing up and you don't even know how to cope with it or how to deal with it or how to do something differently. We're in the midst of that right now.
Or you think you did deal with it and you thought you could deal with it differently until it's put in your face and you realize I still got a lot of work to do.
For sure.
That's where we are.
We need to give them examples of what we're talking about, like stuff that we're actively saying that we don't want to bring into our marriage and whatnot.
I mean, I know for me personally, I know when I get mad that my tongue is very sharp. And, I mean, my parents were very volatile in a lot of ways early in their marriage. Mm-hmm. And it was both verbally, it was all the ways you could be volatile, right? And I think that I thought that because I don't hit, that it's not abuse and it's not mean or it's not damaging because I'm just saying words like, you'll be fine. It's not that serious. Or you've done worse. I can't believe that little word made you so upset. You know, I kind of always had that like just very flippant, like it's just words, whatever, get over yourself. And because I'm feeling like I'm not punching him in his face, I'm not calling him out of his name, so I can't be abusive. But your language, your tone, the way you go at somebody, it is very much abuse. But I would never have given it that title because I never viewed myself as that had happened to me. That was just what happened.
Yeah, that's the only way you saw how to get down.
That was how you got down. If you weren't hitting them, then this is how you get them without having to put your hands. And not putting your hands on them made you bet like, okay, you won that fight because I didn't have to put my hands on you. But you just damaged them so much worse than being hit. And I remember when that used to happen to me, that I remember crying and just being like, I wish I had just got hit because it would have been over with. Whereas now the words are in me and they still eat at me. I still hear that. I still judge myself with those words. But then I do it to you and I love you and I adore you and I'm so in love with you and I find somewhere in my mind the way to justify talking to you that way. That's not okay.
Yeah.
Ever.
100%. Well, I got a follow-up question.
Okay.
So how do you feel that has been affecting you in terms of trying to stop it? Has it been super hard? Has it been moderately hard? Has it been something that I just need to just recognize and I can go the other way? Like, on what level has it been hard for you to deal with that?
Well, I mean, I think partly you might have to answer if I've been dealing with it well. That would be on for you to give an answer too, because you witness it. I think too, what really just helps me change is when I see how my actions have affected you. And when I see that I genuinely hurt you, like it is the worst feeling ever. Especially when I know better. And especially when I knew it was going to hurt you. Like I feel the shittiest. It's the worst feeling. I don't feel like I won. I feel like just the worst. And I know how bad that feeling is. So I think you can even attest that we've had some big blowouts. And then there's the next time that it gets close. And I'm like, okay, this is feeling too much like it almost went. And I retreat because I do not ever want to feel like that again. Like when that happened, it was like, marker this now because I never want this. And if you are getting close to this, then if you're getting here, here, that X is right there. Stop. And I've been trying to just like no, we need to stop this because I need to go before we get there. I've been trying. I don't know if I've been doing the greatest job, but I feel like me being more conscious of it and really being like, we have to find another way.
Yeah, for sure. No, I feel that. I mean, on terms of that, and we're talking about the way we fight. I mean, a lot of times, for me, not a lot of times, most of the time, for me, when there's a disagreement and I feel really strongly about it, the very first thing I do is raise my voice. Because that's what I was raised. That's just how you did it. And it didn't mean anything. It didn't mean like you was about to fight, or it didn't mean like I'm hysterical. It just means like I'm getting my point across and I feel strongly about it, right? But what I didn't understand is that has a different effect on different people. Whether it be what they went through or just that they've never been around that, so they don't know how to react to that, right? So, and you're thinking it's just something innocent as like, I feel strongly about my point, so I'm going to say it. But no, it's always like, if somebody says to you, I need you to come at me differently because that does something to me. It's different than when you're winning an argument.
Yeah.
They're saying that does something to me. I need you to come at me differently because I don't know how to deal when you come like that. In a marriage, that has to be like enough. So what happens is the where you fail your partner in that is when you don't realize that that's supposed to be enough. In that situation, you're supposed to realize that whatever it is they're asking, they must be asking for a reason. So let me pump my brakes. Master of Marriage, this segment that I'm calling it a segment because that's what I want it to be, because there's layers to marriage. We all know that, those of us that are in it. So I need to stop what I'm doing for a second and pay attention to my partner. I don't care how mad I am. This issue ain't as big as that vow we took. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people be like, oh man, it's just an argument. Why are you thinking that deep? But you have to think that deep if you're going to be the master of your marriage, because your marriage is existent all the time. It doesn't stop existing. So when you decide to not be sharp, your marriage is still existing. So now whatever you do can play a part in damaging it because you decide not to be on your game, not realize your marriage is still existing right now.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely with you on that.
I mean, it is a constant work of art.
It's work.
It's constantly
For sure.
work. I mean, we try to set up little safeties where, like, because he's working on not yelling, because for me it definitely is a trigger and it makes me just feel away. And because I've never had a man raise their voice to me. Huh?
Because I keep them from raising their voice, so that's why they don't do that. But I shouldn't do it either.
Right. So I wasn't used to that. So it really it kind of threw us, because I just did not understand, what are you doing? I yell. I don't get yelled at.
Exactly. That was what it was. She was like, I don't get yelled at. And I was like, and when you get the high pitch, what?
I know, he does.
What? Listen, when the what and the Negroes and all that start coming out, like, man. But respectfully though, on the serious side,
that's funny. It's true.
Because I always used to count that as my process. What? Just like when I'm fixing something, the way I do things, and I'm going to go through a process when I'm making something or creating something. And the same thing with the arguments, like a process. My process is, I need you to understand that this point matters to me. And what ends up happening is, men, what we don't understand is, and I'm still learning this as recently as this weekend, is that when you get upset and you use the level of your voice to make your point, or you feel like that makes you, more powerful, whatnot, you actually look a lot weaker. You know what I'm saying? Because it shows that you can't articulate yourself past this level. You can't stay on this level and make your point. It's almost like people who instantly go to curse words to substitute for words they can use to articulate themselves. And what I had to learn was, I never want to look like a female in a situation because I'm not one, and I never want to look like a child in a situation. And those are the two things that you can look like when you act in a certain way. When you act in when you're not acting your age, but you acting your shoe size, that's what you end up looking like. You see what I'm saying? And so if your marriage ain't incentive enough for you to change, let that be incentive enough for you to change. It's like, you want to look like a bitch or you want to look like a kid. And you don't never want to look like either one. Sorry. World, it's just real here. So I don't know what to tell you.
Here we are.
I'm gonna tell the world about something that I was careful not to bring into the marriage. Try not
to
bring into the marriage, and I was careful not to bring the mentality that we only had one or two options in life, right? Mm-hmm. Because I was raised to believe that, number one, when you're growing up, you see gang banging and dope. Let's push that aside and let's just say once you get grown and the people who are supposed to be advising you on your career or whatever, they're telling you either got to bust your back every day of your life in order to have a career, like go down to an assembly line, go to a plant, or you join the military. And I remember being at a certain age when I was at a crossroads and trying to decide where I wanted to do in life. One of the things I was never going to do is go in the military. That just wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody who do military time. Thank you very much.
Love y'all.
It just wasn't for me, right? And so they kept telling me that these are only two options. One thing that I was never taught was take a risk on yourself. Mm. And honestly, and that's not to be like, woe is me, when I was a kid I didn't get this. I'm saying that to say, when you are raised like that and you bring that mentality into your marriage, then even if you don't have kids, you start to make your wife think you only got one or two options. Come on, don't take a chance on yourself. You know, this is the mentality you bring into your marriage as a couple that's going to soar and go places together. You're becoming an anchor because you don't have foresight. You don't have guts, nuts. You don't have what it takes to say, I'm going to take a chance on myself, go for broke, and try to make this money. Mm-hmm. Now, I've always been a guy that wanted to make money, but at the same time, that mentality not only affects your kids, but let's back it up, it affects your marriage first. Because a lot of y'all think that men are supposed to be the leaders. So if you don't confront that mentality head on before you even get married, you're going to come into the marriage as an anchor instead of an uplifter, you know? And that's one thing that I know I brought into the marriage because that's what I was taught, but at the same time, I'm letting go. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I've always wanted to take a chance on me, but it's other people that I want to be safe and want to be like, listen, you got this money, do the practical thing, do the logical thing. It's like, no, take a chance on yourself too. And it starts with my baby, y'all. Take a chance on yourself.
I am.
I know you are. And I'm glad you are. That shit's sexy as too. That shit's sexy
it's
as
so comfortable.
It's sexy. It's so because
scary.
Because like just jumping out there without a parachute saying I'm not, if this don't work, I'm gonna be broke. Or if this don't work, I ain't got nothing else to do. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
So scary.
It's dope.
But you know, we live once.
Yeah.
Sure. And I just want to do a really good job, but I really want you to be proud of me.
Yeah, I am.
Like I want to do things still that you can look at me and be like, that's my chick right there. She did that.
That's what I feel.
I don't want to ever not have that be a motivation. Like I always want you to look at me and be proud or be surprised. Like I want to constantly surprise you and never be just like, I know you know me so well, but I like when I catch you off guard or I throw you for a loop. Like those are just such big wins for me because I want you to be excited to be with me and to be excited about like, what's she about to do? Because you know she about to do something.
I respect that.
You know? Sure.
And you have been like that. Remember, you started businesses and everything the whole time I was incarcerated.
Started them, lost them.
Yeah. Invested, properties,
houses,
everything.
Bought houses, lost houses.
But you learn so much. And the thing is, it's like, man, people put so much stock in having this resume, right? So the resume says that this is what I accomplished, but people don't put enough stock in the experience that they get.
So true.
The experience is a resume too. You have to count that. It's like, man, I know not to do this now, and there's a lot of people that don't know that.
I am so glad you said that, babe, because even like just recently, when we've been talking about some of the stories we might share on our channel here, I kind of been struggling because I'm just like, I don't want people to not see me in this specific light that I've put myself in. Mm-hmm. And it's like, but do you want them to only see you in that light? If that's, I mean, that is a true light. Like, it's not like what y'all see is not what you're getting. But there's been different phases in my life, and I've done things that I would never do now and never thought I would do then. But for those times, I did it. And I don't, like, I'm so just done how do I want to say this? I am so ready for my truth to just be the only thing that guides me and directs me. The opinions about it, they can come all they want to, but I don't want that to dictate me telling, this is my freaking story. It happened. I did it. Look at me. I'm fine. I've come out better from it. I can tell you why not to do it. Or if you have to do it, this is a trick on how you can do it and make sure you don't get caught. You know? I don't want to be ashamed of my story, because it was a chapter of my life that has totally made me what I am now. And like you said, there is somebody else that is right there or about to, and my story could be what gets them to either gets them through it, or it could be what helps them to just go another direction.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what this is going to help, but I'm not scared anymore. I've always had this level of fear, either for judgment, because I feel like I do get misjudged a lot, and that's always it's always been something that's affected me because of not being understood or misunderstood, or people putting titles on me that I don't feel like are fair. And now it's like, you know what, that's them. That's their title. I can't take it from you. I don't want to take it from you. All I can do is just do me. And if you have a problem with that, I can't help you with that. Like, it's not on me to fix that. And I'm learning my pleaser, you know, as we did that sabotage thing, and I'm learning more about what that pleaser personality is. And I'm just having to kind of let a lot of that go. Like, your issue with what I did is your issue with what I did. Because I don't have an issue with it. I did it because I needed to. And that is that. You know?
They don't understand that?
A lot of people, I don't know if they understand it or not, but they still want to ask questions, and I don't have no answer. I don't have nothing else for you.
Don't got nothing for you.
I'm not giving I'm not giving explanations. I'm not offering up all of this justification. Like, I'm about to be 41 this year. What do I look like justifying what I'm doing?
Yeah.
I did it.
Oh, well has to be the mentality. Like,
oh, well.
You mad? Oh, well. You know, it's like.
And really, at the end of the day, baby, this is the other thing. I don't give a about what anybody else thinks about me but you. I really don't.
But sometimes people forget that when they're in the midst of people. Like, they say that all the time. Then they get in the midst of people and forget, and they don't give a fuck.
Because you're conditioned to, because you always did before.
Exactly.
And in certain groups, it just, you know, especially with like family, you just fall into a thing. You can go in and be like, I'm going to be like this today, and just fall into the rut. Like, you just fall into the rhythm. And that's fine. I'm not going to always win those. But overall, I just know I love my people. I respect them. But at the end of the day, like, if you don't like me or what I do, that's on you. That's not my problem, because I'm fine with it.
That's it?
That's it. No, that's all.
That's not what I told you to say.
You told me to say.
All right. That's what you do. Listen, I'm telling you right now, the guys that I deal with in terms of my old friends and the guys that's coming out of incarceration, I tell them all the time that you are short on accomplishments. Yes. But you're long on experience, whether you realize that or not. And so back to where I was saying about people using accomplishments on the resume, people don't use experience on the resume. Your experience, if you don't have a lot of accomplishments, your experiences, if you really think about them, can usually gear you towards whatever you need to be doing, right? Like, the things that you have experienced in life, you know how to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
You can really find a direction like that. And I've told people that a lot of times, and it's actually worked for them. And them being able to be like, yeah, like, I don't need to be, why am I still trying to do this when I need to be over here doing that? I know how to do this real well. Why do I keep pursuing this? Those are the things that we continue to bring into the fold because we don't know any better.
Yeah.
We just don't know any better. And my guys, they're starting to rely on their experience a lot more because that's all they have. And I don't think that that's a bad idea that we do that out here too. That we start focusing on so much on what it is that we rely upon DNA-wise and start relying on your experience and stuff that you're going through. What makes you feel good when you argue with me? When we have an argument and we handle it right, don't that shit feel bomb?
It does.
It's like we got through that. Yeah, let's do it now. And it's like,
good job, babe.
That could be anything in life. If you handle it right, you're going to feel so good. And that has to be the motivation going forward. Because we don't know. We don't know what's right. We just know what we know. We're trying every single day. And
we get it wrong a lot.
We get it wrong a lot. And you know what's crazy? We get the same thing wrong a lot.
Yeah, we're slow learners. We don't get the note. we don't be understanding the assignment apparently because we will turn in the same wrong paper over and over again.
Every single time.
Wrong.
But there is a point where you have to stop blaming. You know what I'm saying? And take responsibility. But just understand that becoming a master of your marriage, you have to drop a lot of stuff that's coming in from the way you were raised. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else?
From what I was raised?
From things that you're not trying to bring into your marriage that you were like raised by or that you saw?
I mean, I never saw it. I think... So I never saw it in my marriage. I mean, in growing up. But what I know I don't want is, I mean, of course, nobody wants to get cheated on. Mm-hmm. And I've never been cheated on, thankfully. And I used to be a person that would just be like, absolutely never. That would be nothing we could come back from. And I still really feel like that. Mm-hmm. I think because of what me and you have gone through, that just...
Yeah, that would be corny.
I just feel like, like that's what you gonna do for us? Yeah, that's how you gonna break us up? But infidelity is not something I ever want to be okay. And there's been relationships within my family that was kind of like it was kind of okay.
It was acceptable.
I mean, it wasn't, but it wasn't to the point where they were like, I'm leaving and you ain't gonna do that to me on anymore. You know, I just didn't subscribe to that. I still don't. And I also didn't really I don't think that it would work for us to have that those traditional man provides, woman takes care of the home thing.
No,
we're just...
No, that's not. That's over with.
And the marriages in my family were very much kind of like that. Mm-hmm. Where the male took care of everything and they made all the money and the woman has to ask him and she can't just make her own choices. And even if she thinks she's making them, it's still with his finger on the top of her head because he has the money. And I just never... that was one thing my mom really instilled in me. And I think because she saw it. The marriages that she was around, she just always was like, you need to have your own, because if you ever have to leave, that needs to be your choice and your decision. Mm-hmm. You decide that day and that be it. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to ever have to scramble and wait and,
That's crazy that should be the standard for anybody across the board.
It should be.
But women are still not learning that yet.
It's not that they're not learning it. We don't have the same opportunities a lot of times.
That's true.
And I think there's some of both. Mm-hmm. I don't think that sometimes we are learning those lessons as quick as we should. I also don't think that there's a lot of examples of people seeing women do it.
That's true.
Where they leave and they do turn into being the success. And a lot of times what we see is they get cheated on and then they make songs about it. And then it's almost like it's glorified because you're a bad bitch because you stayed. And I mean, I just never, I'm not judging you if you stay or if you don't stay. It's just not something I want to be a constant thing in my relationship. I'm not about to be chasing after you. Yeah. If you don't want to be here, don't be here. Mm-hmm. If you want to leave, feel free to leave. No, neither one of us are here by force. Mm-hmm. It's not because he can't go. It's not because I can't go. We are both choosing to be in this relationship. And I feel like that's the only way I want to be in a relationship. I don't want it where the power and the hierarchy is not equal, because now someone's always obligated or stuck.
That's funny you say that.
I don't ever want that for you or for me. I don't want you dependent on me, and I don't want to be dependent on you for my happiness. Yeah. That is just nothing I'm ever going to subscribe to. And while my parents, learning what I learned about them now and what their marriage was really like versus what you thought it was like, I get why my mom was telling me that. I know that was important to her because that was not her reality and she wished it was. Mm. And now I'm grateful that, for one, I don't have to have that, I need to make sure that I have my money so I can leave my man because he don't be acting right. I'm glad I don't have that issue. Mm. But if he didn't act right, and I needed to, I could do what I got to do.
You can do what you got to do.
You don't, your presence it fills this place up, but it does, the place don't go away if you leave. Right. If the structure is still sound, the foundation has been built on solid. Mm-hmm. So if one or both of us leave, the structure's still going to be there.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what I appreciate with us, that we are contributing equal things into this. And it might not be equal, like you have the same money on this and I put the same food but we're contributing equally into this partnership.
For sure.
And if one part leaves, it's not going to crumble because we both have we're good on our own. Like we're both solid individuals alone, and we are just dynamic, and we're a force together.
Dynamic is actually the word, yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
I just those types of relationships, they're inevitable. There's always going to be the guy that makes more, or the girl that makes more, or this one that does more here, and da-da-da-da. And I think that those absolutely work fine. But I also think that there has to be a real understanding and respect on, just because your contribution is $1 does not make it less than mine if it's not $1. You know, and even with you, maybe you can speak on how that has been. We've had to work on that.
Say that again.
About if my $1, just because my $1 doesn't match your $1, doesn't mean that I'm not putting as equal into this.
100%.
I'm contributing. I got sweat equity in this mess too.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's like what it requires for me to do what I do, to contribute every single day. It wears me down like it wears anybody else. You know, you've been fortunate to be able to work from home. You know what I'm saying? For me to take the mentality that since you're working from home, that you do less, or that you can do more at home since I'm not here. Like, people kill me with that. You know, it's like my mentality, and the reason why I was laughing when you said hierarchy is because one of the points that I have is hierarchy in the family does not dictate whether or not you respect people in your family. You know, because we grew up where it was do as I say. I don't explain nothing to you. You the kid. I don't care. Right?
Yep.
And a lot of people our age grew up like that. Understandable. For y'all, I get it. But going forward, that's not the way you do it. You're supposed to respect your kids. Husband's supposed to respect the wife. And I'm telling you right now, if you walk in the house and you're saying, I'm the man, I provide, you the kids, y'all do that, that's the mentality they're going to take going forward. Like, it's going to last a lot longer than you think. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's going, when they're in their 20s and 30s and you wondering why you don't have a relationship you want to, it's because you didn't communicate. It's because you didn't sit up there and give them the respect when they was young and show them what respect looks like going forward, that you got to give it no matter what position you hold. A lot of these kids get out of here and feel like because they have more money than the next man, that they can treat the next man differently. A lot of times that's because your dad had more money than you and he treated you differently. Or your mama had more money than you and she treated you differently. And we understand that you're supposed to respect mom and dad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, there's a way that we was treated that I wouldn't treat my kids like that.
It's true.
And as a man who's the breadwinner, if I was the breadwinner in the house, I wouldn't treat my wife like that. It doesn't give me the excuse to treat. So the hierarchy does not dictate respect.
Yeah.
And in this marriage, that's what I wanted to learn as I go through. I didn't come into the marriage thinking that. So, but at the same time, a lot of times our actions don't dictate that, that you believe that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, hey, you come to a marriage. What's the first thing about marriage? You're a team now, right? So as a team, if you don't view your wife as a teammate, your actions are going to dictate that that's not what you're viewing her as. I'm saying that because that's what I did. It's like, because I come in and I have this mentality like, okay, boom, got the plan, I'm going. What happens? No discussion. Everybody, NBA calls timeouts to discuss. NFL calls timeouts to discuss the plan.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? So even though I respect my wife to the nth degree, not discussing plans with her that affect her is not showing the respect that I say I feel. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so going forward, men need to do that too. Men need to understand that I get it, man. We don't like to talk. And I'm not even good at that. Like, sometimes I get kind of the bare necessity, like, working out today, back and legs. That's it. I don't feel like going into it, but you asked me to tell you, so I'm telling you, right? So that's it. But I'm trying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm really trying, and I'm gonna do more, but some days it's like, all right.
Babe, actually, I want to give you your flowers right now.
You have to give me no flowers?
No, I'm going to, because I've been praying for something, and I don't know that I'm going to say the prayer yet, because I do see that it's happening and I don't want to take away from that. But I have been praying a specific prayer about you and just about our, you being as the leader of this family and how I support you and how I want you to support me and all these things. And just things, ideas that I have that I want us to be stronger in. And I know this is what makes me know that God's really present in our relationship, because I've been talking to him about it. And this week, I think I've told you a couple times. I haven't told you the specific because I didn't want you to feel weird, but you've done some specific things that let me know that God definitely heard what I'd asked for, because I didn't even have to tell you that I wanted you to kind of take the lead or to just do or to take care of. And you've really lately been like stepping up in ways that you hadn't before, and I think it was just simply because you didn't know how to. But you're learning a lot, and you're not being afraid to just step out there. And the way that some of the things that you're doing for our family that I never just hadn't either thought of or haven't followed through on, and that you're just taking over as like the leader of us. It's just, it is so sexy and just I'm so excited and happy and grateful that God blessed me with a husband who can hear him and then do. Like, you hear from him and then you take it and you do it. And I really see you, babe.
I appreciate that.
Like, you really are trying. You're doing a lot, and you are doing a good job at it. God
gave me time, you know. A lot of time when I was incarcerated, I didn't think that I was going to have enough time. So now I have it. I definitely want to squander it. And I'm talking about time with you in specific, right? And so it's like, why be with you if I can't do the things that make you happy? Why be with the woman if you can't fulfill the expectations that you set forward when you guys are planning to stay together for a long time? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, there's a built-in, ready-made excuse for me. I take reintegration very seriously, so I don't want to rush it.
Yeah.
So I've been trying not to rush it, but as soon as something will come to me and I can do it, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to keep doing it. I'm not going to stop. And so what I've been praying for lately is that the things that I'm able to do come to me faster. You know what I'm saying? With more regularity. When I say regularity, the opportunity to do it. And then not to be flustered in the moment so I could just get through it. Those are the three things I've been praying about in terms of that. If it's working, I sure appreciate it. I feel like I'm doing more, but at the same time, I don't feel like I'm doing enough yet.
That's
you know
okay.
What I'm saying?
I mean, we all can, there's always room to do more. I mean, we all have that, but I just have noticed the more that you have been doing.
I appreciate that.
And I appreciate it too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
I appreciate that. Did you have anything else?
No, I don't think so. I think those are the main things that that my takeaways or not takeaways, I guess.
I had one more.
What's that?
My last one was men. Actually, everybody need to understand this. That oaths and vows are cut from the same cloth. Right? So, without delving into too much of it, y'all, you know what I'm saying? I got a past. I got a street life, and I took an oath. Right? And under no circumstances is it ever acceptable to break that oath. And why aren't people ostracized for breaking vows? We ostracized for breaking oaths out here in these streets. I still, to this day, will never break my oath. I believe in loyalty. I believe in oaths. But the same respect needs to be put on vows. They're cut from the exact same cloth, right? So the things that would make me be ostracized when I took my oath, I take that same mentality with my vows. You see what I'm saying? Because if I was to do something to destroy my vows with you, my partners would be like, man, you stupid.
They sure would.
No. They'll do that, but they'll still fuck with me.
That's true. Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, but I don't know.
No. They gonna talk to you and they gonna talk to me. They gonna still fuck me. But I'm saying if I break my oaths to these streets, they're not gonna fuck with me. That's what I'm saying. People need to understand that the same things is prevalent here. These oaths and these vows cut from the same cloth. So when I come into my marriage, like, how do you say you're gonna be loyal to this chick the same way you're gonna be loyal to your vows? Well, first thing you gotta do is you gotta pick the right one.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Second one is about choices. And then the third one is that understand that my movements have consequences. So as a man, you thinking that if I sleep with this chick, or if I don't pay this bill. It ain't always about adultery. So if I don't pay this bill, or if I act funny with the money that we are jointly using, like, people don't understand, like, your movements as a man has consequences. So in a marriage, when you don't move right, it's going to affect the foundation of what y'all got going on. How you feel when you come home, kiss that woman, gonna be a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? If you're not respecting them vows like you do your oath. And so I'm just saying, for you street cats out there that's reintegrating, remember the oaths that you took? Do the same with the vows, man.
Yeah, that's actually a really good message, and something I hope that they really listen to, because it's really true. Like, you see people that will uphold an oath, and they live and die by that. And I don't understand why it's not the same when you're saying, this is my person and you're about to be my ride or die. If you riding or dying for these niggas out here, why ain't you riding or dying for me? And I'm in the house with you sucking your
You stupid. We're just doing that. So the thing is, though, like, you stupid. When one of the things that I said that I was going to do when my vows is, like, you know what I'm saying, and I was like, I was going to make sure I look out for my own boys, always be there for them. And I don't think that anybody that really fuck with me will ever say that I didn't do that, right? And it's like, when I married you, I said I was going to do some certain things, and I wasn't going to do certain things, and I hope that you would be able to say that I've never done those things. You know what I'm saying? And so when people don't understand, it's like, man, when you saying those things, one thing I always said I would never do is put somebody above you. That I would not forsake you for anybody. I never said that about my oath. I said I'll look out for my homeboys, and I will. But when I took my vow to you, that means nobody come before you. You know what I'm saying? And I always expected my wife to understand that I did take an oath, but she also knows that nothing fuck with her. Nothing fuck with her.
I'm very secure in my position.
For sure.
I know my spot. I know that it is my spot. I've never had to fight for it. Even when I'm like, it's not that serious, he makes sure that my spot is known. So I've never had to worry about that, and I do appreciate that.
For sure. I appreciate that, baby.
I love you, Pookie.
Love you
You're
back.
so cute.
Love you back.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us on this weekly podcast of ours. We are trying so hard to bring you guys good content, but we appreciate that you guys keep coming back and dealing with us week after week.
For sure.
If you guys like what you see, please, we would love for you to take this time to like, share, put a comment down if anything you can connect with. If you feel comfortable sharing some maybe of the things that you maybe took away from the marriages you saw, or that you didn't take away and brought into your marriage, we would love to hear those things too.
For sure.
And also just let us know the other things that you want to continue to hear from us. We have a lot of ideas, and we just don't know if that's what y'all want. So tell us, please. Tell us what you want to hear. Tell us what you want to know. And we will be back at you guys next week.
Yes, we will. It's been a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure.
Being with the world. The world is a trip, man. Y'all remember, out there, attitude reflects leadership.
Absolutely.
Especially in your marriage. You know what I'm saying? That's the case across the board, but especially in your marriage. So we're learning that. We're living by it. We appreciate you guys always tuning in and giving us time and space, your ear. And hopefully we're giving you guys something you can live by.
Yeah. So guys, thank you so much again for watching us. Please stay with us and keep coming back, and we will see you guys next week.
Yes, we will.
All right. Love you guys. Bye,
right.
Spice Rack.
Peace.
See you later.